Welcome back, dear friends of the Ancient Kingdom. Chapter 1120 is finally available, and as we do every week, we are going to analyze it. It is a rich, enjoyable chapter that opens up interesting scenarios, especially about the D-letter, old friend from the past, and the future of our protagonist Luffy. But if we are ready, then I would say it's time to get started. I had hoped that the cover story would teach both Yamato and the people of Wano country valuable lessons that would benefit the younger generation. However, much to my disappointment, the nonsense continues. Denjiro, the new daimyo of region of Kibi, decides to step in and bafflingly puts the children in a bag while giving Yamato a friendly pat. What kind of lesson does this ridiculousness impart? That children are misbehaved and deserving of punishment. Wouldn't it have been better to intervene and explain to the children, with Yamato as an example, that she is a virtuous individual who aided in freeing the country from the clutches of Kaido? Perhaps we will witness this in the forthcoming cover story. Who knows, but it's disheartening to see such a promising opportunity go to waste. In order to make a difference in the world, it is crucial to start with the youngest generation, as they hold the key to our society's future. By instilling values of tolerance, respect, and justice in them, we can develop individuals who will construct a more equal and supportive community. However, it is concerning that Yamato and Denjiro's cover story appears to promote a negative message, punishing children without helping them understand their mistakes. This perpetuates a cycle of miscommunication and a lack of understanding and empathy. Sadly, in Wano, there seems to have been yet another missed opportunity to teach young people about compassion and mutual respect. It raises questions as to whether there are individuals who are intentionally maligning the Kurozumi out of a sense of habit. These observations leave me wondering about the true understanding of starting with the youngest to shape a better future. Hey, if you've made it this far and you're still here, I kindly request that you show some support by leaving a like. Your likes are crucial in helping me continue my work. Additionally, I would greatly appreciate it if you could leave a little comment, as well as subscribe to my channel. Your support is vital, and only you can make a difference to this channel. Thank you in advance. Let's start our journey at the beginning, right at the gates of Punk Hazard. The detailed information about the presence of dragons dating back 26 years helps us to uncover the possible period when Kaido was brought to the government island. Although we don't have the exact dates yet, by exercising some patience, we can eventually locate a time frame that encompasses the capture. At that time, my speculation was that Kaido's capture occurred roughly 28 to 30 years ago. This conclusion was based on three key events: Oden's departure from Wano, Orochi's raising money, and most importantly, the growth of Kaido's mustache. It should be noted that Kaido and Alba managed to escape from Lab 8. In this particular scenario, elements number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 6 are involved. Despite all this speculation, it ultimately boils down to a conversation about nothing. I appreciate Oda's inclusion of dragons as it adds a nice touch. However, the creature peering out of the main gate bears no resemblance to a dragon. Rather, it appears as an ancient giant crafted through genetic modification. Is it possible that it is one of the Kaido's numbers? If you remember, they were prisoners who have undergone genetic mutation on the remote science island. Though it is unknown, it is an intriguing detail. Let's stay here, on the flashback of Dr. Vegapunk and Professor Clover. And before we delve into the revelation about the archaeology luminary, I want to devote a few nice words to Vegapunk. I've always had little regard for him. I've never hidden it from you, but he really is a shitty man. The more Oda shows us of his past, the more and more grotesque he comes across in my eyes. Considering the doctor's entire speech, it is evident that Vegapunk's main concern was not the restoration of Professor Clover's reputation, as he has never mentioned it. His primary focus was solely on showcasing himself, boasting about his vigor and expressing remorse for his actions, which he believes were righteous for the greater good. Consequently, the Doctor comes across as nothing more than an egotistical, self-satisfied, and self-centered elder. This helps me understand why his most self-centered aspect, York the Greedy, aspired to become a celestial dragon. How gross is Vegapunk? And how good was Oda to paint him that way? Vegapunk exists within a dreary grey realm, where he should, in the public's eyes, resemble a serene and benevolent elderly man, a radiant being akin to the everlasting flame he fashioned. However, this perception is far from the truth, as he harbors a much darker and gloomier nature. He could easily be likened to Darth Plagueis of Star Wars. These Moon Sith were obsessed with wealth, aspiring to be the ultimate Lord Sith in the galaxy, and desiring immortality that transcends the confines of time and space. And now we turn to Professor Clover, who also belongs to the D-Clan. This is a great revelation, because the number of these is getting closer and closer to the 12 that I had hypothesized so many years ago, in the idea that these characters were on par with the 12 main deities of different pantheons of various ancient civilizations. Now we have the Gold family, the Portgas, the Monkeys, the Jaguars, the Rocks, the Marshalls, the Trafalgars, the Nefertaris, and finally, the Kurao family. Regrettably, Eiichiro Oda and the Japanese language are not of assistance when it comes to transliteration in the Western context. Nevertheless, we have two intriguing alternatives. The first encompasses a more straightforward and whimsical approach, where we merge the word Kurao with the letter D, hence transforming into cloud. From here, Clue D Clover. The second option is more intriguing because it bears a strong connection to the main symbol of Ireland, the clover, after Guinness beer clearly. As you know, the clover holds immense significance in Irish culture. Since Professor Clover's hair is precisely an Irish shamrock, the typical clover related to St. Patrick with 3 leaves, we can find in the Japanese word kurao the association with the Irish word clioma, which means sword. This Irish word is pronounced cleave or cleave, with slight variation depending on the dialect. The long E is pronounced like an elongated E, and the final MH is pronounced like a soft V. This ancient term is used to refer to a variety of traditional Irish swords, which have a long history and very important cultural significance in Ireland. Swords, in Irish history, are often associated with Celtic warriors and myths. Among the most renowned of these swords is the Claiom Soleil, also known as the Sword of Light. This incredible sword features prominently in several Irish legends and Celtic myths as an incredibly powerful weapon, bearing a striking resemblance to Excalibur, and is often associated with legendary heroes. What fascinates me, though, was that the one who brandished this sword was not a King Arthur-type human figure or similar, but rather multiple heroes from a divine lineage known as the Tuatha De Danann. The name translates to people of the goddess Danu. Danu, a mother goddess, is associated with fertility, the earth and the sea, the waters. In fact, she is Mother Nature, let us be clear. The same Mother Nature that is also spoken of in One Piece in relation to the devil's fruits. All the Tuatha De Danann were said to be descended from her, and were therefore considered a divine people, endowed with extraordinary magical powers. According to ancient mythology, the Tuatha De Danann arrived in Ireland from 4 enchanted cities named Falias, Gorias, Murias, and Findias. These cities were renowned sources of wisdom and power, and alongside them, the Tuatha De Danann brought a set of 4 extraordinary treasures. 1. The Stone of Destiny, capable of proclaiming the name of the rightful ruler of Ireland when placed upon it. 2. The Spear of Lugh, an unbeatable weapon guaranteeing triumph in every battle. 3. The Sword of Nuada, Claiom Solais, a weapon embodying luminosity, capable of penetrating any obstacle and leaving adversaries without a chance. 4. The Cauldron of Dagda, an enchanted vessel that could continuously produce unlimited nourishment. Upon their arrival in Ireland, the Tuatha De Danann encountered the Firbolg in the first battle of Mag Tuired. Although them emerged victorious, their king, Nuada, suffered the loss of a hand during the battle. Due to the customs of his people, Nuada was deemed unfit to continue as king. Subsequently, Bres, a tyrannical ruler, took his place. It took Nuada 7 years to reclaim his throne, thanks to a silver hand crafted by the medicine god, Dian Sect. Remarkably reminiscent of Voldemort, isn't it? With Wormtail. Tuatha De Danann then began preparing for a second grand battle, this time against the Fomori, a race of monstrous and chaotic beings. This battle proved to be decisive, owing to the courageous efforts of the hero Lugh, who triumphantly slew Baelor, the Fomori's king. This victorious confrontation not only established the dominance of the Tuatha De Danann, but also solidified their claim to power. Despite their accomplishments, the Tuatha De Danann eventually had to relinquish control of Ireland to the Milesians, the ancestors of present-day Irish people. In defeat, the Tuatha De Danann were forced to retreat underground, and residing within mounds, and enchanting fairy hills. These mystical dwellings were believed to serve as gateways to a parallel world, a realm brimming with magic, where the immortal inhabitants of the Tuatha De Danann continued to thrive. Maybe you don't know, but I love traveling with my imagination, and I want to put forward the notion that our master Eiichiro Oda may have utilized these stories as inspiration both for Clover's family name and to provide us with hints about the past of the world. This encompasses a conflict between gods and monstrous creatures for dominance over the earth, followed by the gods' triumph and eventual downfall as they were banished underground. Something that could recall the mysterious past of One Piece. I believe the influence of the Tuatha De Danann on ancient gods Lunarian's history may be a possibility. However, I'll refrain from delving too deeply into this topic as it would stray too far from our discussion on chapter 1120. But let's ponder on the idea. What if D stands for Danu, the mother goddess? I'll add this among the many other possibilities. Staying on Clover, two more things. The first one, there is a phrase that tickles me. Washiha biazu kyoite miseruzo, kako kara koi ga kikoete karunja. Translated, I'll work it out. I hear the voices of the past. Clover, the ultimate luminary of archaeology, utters this sentence in a moment of determination and perhaps desperation. The logical and grammatical analysis reveals a strong intention and deep conviction in being able to solve the mystery of the Void Century. The sentence can be interpreted in two ways. Firstly, literally, Clover possesses the extraordinary ability to hear voices from the past, implying a connection to the supernatural. This suggests that when studying historical events, Clover can hear the voices of the people from that time period, indicating a mystical or magical inclination. Clover's auditory skills extend beyond mere human voices. Would he also be able to hear the voice of the poneglyph? Additionally, does he perceive the voice embedded within historical works? It would be truly remarkable if he did. And then there exists the figurative interpretation, where the expression can be understood as symbolically representing Clover's ability to hear the voices of the past through his thorough research and analysis of historical artifacts. This suggests that the knowledge he has acquired from uncovering information, documents, and artifacts allows him to mentally reconstruct ancient events and histories, almost as if he were directly communicating with the past. This explanation does not imply any supernatural abilities, but rather a profound comprehension of and profound connection to history. In the end, it's easy that will be this way. But again, dreaming is not a sin. Second thing, why would the government kill Clover's brother simply because he possessed the D? After all, the Navy has had individuals like Garp, Dragon, and Saul who possess the same initial, and they have never faced persecution by the government. Sure, Roger was an exception, but that was only after he conquered Laugh-Tale. So why target Clover's brother? Was it because he was assisting Clover in uncovering the world's secrets, and the government wanted to silence him? Personally, I find this explanation rather weak. As far as we know, Clover's brother would be the first person in 800 years to meet such a tragic fate for holding the D. I truly hope there is some logical reason behind it all. Let us now turn our attention to Vegapunk and his message. It looks like Vegapunk is about to finish its broadcast. He's been giving us a hard time, the bugger. I had believed he had finished weeks ago, but instead he continued to share information with intermittent interruptions. Let us now read the translated dialogue from the original Japanese version. I hear voices from the past, someone said. History is passed down by the winners, while the voices of the losers, deeply buried at the bottom of the sea, are extremely faint. However, the truth discovered through many sacrifices has now been shared with the world. I hope this broadcast has reached you without any issues. Listening to the story of a 900-year-old conflict from just one perspective is foolish. History needs to be viewed from multiple angles. I wish I had more time. However, there are people who can no longer be stopped. In fact, 25 years ago, the pirate Goldie Roger finally completed the first circumnavigation of the world, and they must have heard the purest voice of the past. That said, although I think everyone has already realized it, in short, this is my conclusion about the future. I would say it is a very clear message. He declares to the world, unintentionally, that Roger's real last name is Goldie, with subsequent WTF of the impelled down prisoners. And I wonder why they are amazed. With whom do they associate that D? To Luffy? To Teach? To Zebek? Guys, I really don't know. From ever we believe that the poneglyph carries the true history of the One Piece world, but what's crucial here is that we're still oblivious to the truth of the victors, as that too has been expunged from the annals of history. I sincerely hope that Oda adeptly portrays the complete picture to truly enlighten us. The truth has various facets, encompassing the D's, the world government, the ancient kingdom, and all those who were involved in the Void Century. It's important to note that the truth behind the poneglyphs may not essentially constitute the actual truth of history. It will be, sure, but one must apprehend the comprehensive view, encompassing all perspectives, rather than merely accepting the unilateral perspectives posited by the government or the ancient kingdom. We bid farewell to Atlas, who plays a crucial role in chapter 1120, sacrificing himself to stop Nusjuro. It is worth pondering his final moments, captured in a poignant smile. As I have long emphasized, death accompanied by a smile serves as a visual tool, highlighting those who depart this world without remorse. It is not a prerogative of the D's. Every individual we have witnessed dying with a smile did so without regrets. Examples include Roger, Rouge, Ace, Hiriluk, Sol, who, incidentally, did not die later, perhaps Garp, Pound, also not deceased later, Pell, who likewise did not pass away later, Oden, Rocinante, and even Kuma, whose memories were erased as he grinned wonderfully. Who didn't die with a smile? An example is Newgate, who departed knowing he had left Blackbeard alive, leading to regret. Clover might also fit this category. We did not witness his demise as he did not die instantly from the gunshot, but it is possible that even he was not content departing with unfinished tasks on his plate. On the other hand, Atlas selflessly sacrifices himself for the greater good, departing with a radiant smile on his face. Absolutely marvelous, simply marvelous. I close this kidnapping in video format with Luffy and Emmet. I am perplexed. Emmet firmly believes that Luffy is Joy Boy, as they possess identical qualities such as the power of the devil's fruit, the same heartbeat, a white appearance, and more. However, what if Joy Boy had been a giant, a fully grown man, or had differed in size, race, or any other aspect? Would the Iron Giant simply overlook these differences, or is there a hidden explanation? I find it peculiar that Emmet doesn't even entertain the possibility of doubt. Equally peculiar is the fact that Emmet doesn't question Luffy's failure to comprehend that when he addresses him as Joy Boy, Luffy doesn't realize he is being talked to. Then, isn't it that the famous time travel theory where Luffy is Joy Boy and Joy Boy is Luffy is disturbingly taking shape? I remind you that if it is, the poneglyph of apology that is at Fishman Island is not for the Poseidon who lived 800 years ago, but for the current one, because Luffy could not keep his promise to take her on a tour of the forests of the emerging world. Think about it. But aside from that, it remains fascinating how only Luffy can hear him. Is it the voice of all things, which also allowed him to hear Zunesha? Or does it have something to do with being Joy Boy? Or Nika? It is one thing to chat with a living creature, but here we are talking about a robot. The mystery is becoming more and more intriguing. Very, very good, Oda. Good shot. Having said that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and leaving a comment. This is the only way for the channel to grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so, and don't forget to turn on post notifications. I salute you, be good, and have fun.